Welcome to Monkey and Frank. My name is Do and this body's Dom. Today the story that I'm going to be sharing with you guys is the story on how I got my ass kicked by the mushroom. First thing, in my life I've been lazy. First off, I've been lazy. I've been given, I guess, things all my life. Through my childhood, I was given things, and I just grew up with a sense of entitlement, I guess, and a sense of laziness. I've always worked hard, and I can work hard. So if I'm at the job, I'm the best worker there is. So for 8 hours a day, I work fucking hard, and I'm a good worker. Like, good. And then when I get home, I'm lazy. And the balance, right? So life, you dedicate so much of your effort for 8 hours outside of your body. And then when you come home, you're expected to do more effort for your body, for your health, and that part is frustrating because I'm totally fucking aware that there are slaves out there, that there are sex slaves, that are people suffering left, right, and center, animals, forest, life. And then the paradox says, well, life is effort. Life is, suffering. Life is suffering. And it's just the way it is. And through your suffering is where you find the light and is where love lives. That's the other thing that I'm frustrated about. I understand, buddy, but I am frustrated right now, so I would suggest for you to just calm down and lie down. And like even now, like this effort that I need to put in for my cat to calm down as I'm recording this video, it's difficult. So I take the mushroom, and the mushroom shows me on how frustrated I am. Like, see the chaos that's happening right now? Like, I have a choice to see it as beautiful and, oh, look at my beautiful cats, or I'm attached to this video, or I'm attached to my integration, or I'm attached to... The mushroom showed me the paradox of life is effort. Like, for me to even be here, or for you guys to even be there, takes so much effort out of life that for you to be ungrateful and don't put in the effort for yourself, then you'll go and suffer. And that's always the case, right? It always goes back to suffering. So then, the next thing it was really showing me is how I don't have a choice. Meaning, my life, my choices, like, it's not like I'm ungrateful on purpose. None of us are. It's just the life we've chose, or it's the life that is the plan that you have to trust, you have to honor, you have to be trust, even though that there's no proof, and even though there's doubts everywhere. How do I know? Like, okay, so it showed me this, right, on how I didn't have a choice. Then I'm like, why am I here then? There's no purpose to be here. You're really breaking me down. And it was providing a lot of pain. My shoulder was hurting, my legs. It's as if my muscles were tired, as if I didn't put enough effort into my body for working out. And it was just showing me all of this suffering and angst that I had built up. You can't even relax and let go into relaxation. You need to have effort to go into relaxation. I was like, really? Okay. For hours I was like in a state of suffering. My feet were so cold, and that how life is suffering. There is no purpose, And everything is effort, and you should be so grateful that you're alive, because there's so much effort putting into your biology right now that you should put in effort as well. And remember that when you get beat down and you get through really deep suffering, life has a tendency to reach out. And it was showing me this on how, as you get pounded down, as a plant gets, their leaf ripping up so that they become stronger, and as you go through the suffering of life, you're going to start reaching out through your roots for help, for sustenance, and at that point, when I was at my lowest, like, I had to have my sitter, help me out. I asked for help. It was crazy how difficult it was. And it was showing me with my children, it's the perfect example as like how life is, right? My children, for them to be able to learn effort, need to go through some trauma, but even that's not certain, because if they go through a trauma and they go sad and they decide not to learn and they cave in and they put more walls, then there's less effort because they're broken, like I was, like over and over and again through love, right? Because you protect your children, you don't allow them to fall or whatever, you don't even give them the chance to learn, right? Because of fear really, brings you down. So then it was showing me that, and I was like, okay, but the feelings of pain that I feel when I see my daughter fall, or when she goes through a hard time, that pain's not going away. And then it's like, well, you need to do effort. And it's so paradoxical. You need to do the effort to see the suffering of what's going to happen to your child when they fall and learn, and to embrace it, like to cry and to let your heart be open and be vulnerable, right? And for me, that was weakness growing up. So now I'm fighting against that, like to be weak, cry. 2, create structure, like for your child, like create rules, but rules that you don't even want to do these rules. Like, fuck off, you telling me when to go to bed, or blah, 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 blah. For the knowing that it's going to create trauma or structure or patterns in their life that they're going to be able to imitate and hopefully grow into. But if you do it in a way where you're negative about it, then they're not going to learn, they're going to fight you, and they're going to create trauma. And if you do it with such patience, it works, but they still explode and they still hate you, in the end. Maybe, I've hated for a while, and they were giving me, like, you know what I mean? I know a lot of you probably feel the same way. And then it was showing me that my life was like an espresso cup. An espresso cup is a coffee where there's a kind of a little cream at the top because of all the little bubbles from the pressure that it went through to come out. And when you drink your espresso, if you move the cup too much, that foam disappears, and then the coffee is just like straight up harsh coffee, right? You want that foam. So my life during the trip was showing me like how I was happy in my depression. There was no darkness. It was all light, but it was depressed. It was stagnant. You can't move it too much. If you disturb it, it gets mad and it gets dark, and then it was showing me that on how, but you want to disturb the cup so that you see the dark. You want to see the dark for what it is, the suffering for what it is, and to embrace it as life, and to do the effort to grow in your life. And the more effort you put, the more your life will be happy, fulfilling, and blah, blah, blah. But in my brain right now, this is something I need to retrain, learn, like me doing these things. I don't want to, but I do it. And I'm going to start putting an effort into my life. And maybe, it's just, I'm putting so much effort into work that it's not compensating for the life. Like, money is not everything, right? You need the effort of working out, suffering, going through the darkness. So thank you, Mushroom, but what a kick in the ass. Like I'm feeling like frustrated today at the idea that suffering, because as you guys know, probably if you've seen my videos, my suffering, my anxiety attack, my panic attacks, I don't know if you guys ever had that, now is a form of bliss. When extra emotion comes in, when chaos happens and there's screams and you feel yourself ramping up and like, oh my fucking God, I want to run away. If you embrace it and you just take a few deep breaths, it becomes a bliss. And like, where's the rule books for this, for your life, for your feelings? Man, like, give me a break. Like that too. Like you have to have faith at every moment. Okay, I love you so much, God. Now I'm getting more and more faith, but please, like maybe my videos are gonna help you figure out that it's crazy. I'm blown away by it, and I'm frustrated at the idea that my panic attacks, these feelings, that chaos, is actually bliss. And the more impact, the more your heart is open, the more the suffering is gonna be. But again, you need to have effort to see it that way. And as soon as you lose the effort part of it, then you go right back in depression. You could learn a lesson and totally know it, and then not put in the effort and lose it. Like straight up, easily. So yeah, panic attacks, anxiety, good luck with that. I'm working through it, and it takes effort, and let's do it together, man. Monkey and Frank, let's do the effort. We're gonna do it. Yeah.